Hello, good afternoon. This is our Tuesday, and we're always here to share our knowledge, right? So there are times we share knowledges and with what prepared. But today, guess what? We come unprepared. The reason we were not prepared because we had so much going on at the office. We really want to talk to people about catching up on their tax filings and coming out of that dark holes. Recent month we have met quite a few taxpayers who have run good businesses, have a good career path, and really sounded economic life they have out of this business they're running. However, guess what? And one of them we know and didn't file any taxes for the past 11 years. So the question boiled down to that, okay, I made a living. I am a business owner, so I haven't really filed taxes for so long. Ying, tell me. Oh, Catherine, what should I do? So those are the things coming out during the tax season a lot. So I and Catherine, we're here today, and what we want to do is to just simply dialogue between us. So for those to hear, if you have your friend or yourself are in the same boat, and every time you think about taxes, you faint. Every time you think about IRS, you couldn't sleep. And every time you look at community CPA signs out there, you're like, I don't know where to start. So that is this 30 minutes is for you. So we want to really tell you what exactly happens if you don't do what you should do. Before that, Catherine, let me share some of our company information with folks that are already joining us. And I'm going to share screen to our website. So this is our website, folks. You know how to get a hold of us, not only because we have all the contact information right here for you, and we also have appointment that you can book to see all of our partners in the firm, what they are good at, which area of practice they do, and you can book their time and explore services with us, right? We also have this what we call the onboard with us. This is a silent onboarding tools. We have quite a bit of clients just don't have time. They know us, they hear our webinars, they decided already to be our client. But you know what? Just to pick up the phone to call, to do this cold call, it is stress. So what they prefer to do is to go on to onboard with us, and right here, and you go in, and I let's make sure. I know this one didn't work on my webinar site. If you click, it will show up. Trust me. So you can just log in and to get your onboarding information into us. And Catherine and all of our folks behind the scene would know that you came on board. So we will take care of you in that way. And then we will be the one calling you so you don't have to feel like you have to stick out your head and do things that you're not comfortable. And of course, if you are getting too busy, no time to talk, no time to do anything, and at midnight, and you're worried about IRS knocking your doors, and you can go onto our YouTube channel. And right here, and if you just put in tax audit, and you will find all of the audit topics we have ever talked about, and you can learn of these and know what you're facing and doing, and this is how we're going to ultimately be able to help you. So now I'm back to Catherine and I. So we want to just simply dialogue. What if you're in the big rabbit hole and deep and dark, and you haven't filed taxes for many, many years? And where do you start? Why is Community CPA the right place? Or other CPA firm just like ours, they're the right place for you to get over with that life-threatening situation. It's not life-threatening, you're safe because IRS would never pull out a gun to shoot you. But it's life-threatening to you because you feel that way. That's why I described it that way, right, Kat? and the
Yes,
folks use that
absolutely.
word. Yeah.
Yes. So, Ying, maybe you can start off the discussion by telling people here what some of the common reasons are that you find people coming to you, they're behind on their taxes. What have you seen based on the firm's practice and experience?
We have most of the people who come to us to catch up on taxes was due to a life event. I'll give you example. So many years ago, a gentleman came to us. He did not file 5 years tax return. So he came in. I mean, at that time, this is like at least 15, 20 years ago, and he sat in my office and he was very sad. You can feel like he was sad. So he told me that he didn't file his taxes and he is a postal worker. So he works for the government. Imagine he didn't file his taxes. So all of his money was like taken away. He's always in trouble with IRS and he doesn't know what happened to his money. So this is what he told me. He said, I didn't file taxes not because I'm a bad citizen, because I wife divorced me 5 years ago. I do not think I will live. I was going to kill myself. I did not think I will live, so I didn't care about taxes. For the first year and the second year, I was so struggling. I think I will die. I don't care. So I didn't file. But time goes on. By the third year, fourth year come around, I felt like I should file, but I'm already in such a deep trouble. Didn't really know where to pick myself up. And then now it's already 5th year, 6 years. I come to you because someone told me that you're nice and that you can help me. So that's why he was with me. So obviously, nice doesn't cut it all, right? Of course, have the empathy, have the understanding that is essential for customer service and for our profession. And from my landscape and from our community CPA's landscape, we don't see criminals out there. That is just not how we operate or assume clients coming into our office. They're all good people. They're good in one way. There may be shortcoming in different way. They may even don't want to pay us because they are very frugal and calculating, but that doesn't mean they're bad people, right? They have their life experience suggest such a thing. So we respect that. We work with our client. But client like this one with this kind of sad history, we of course understand. So we do we share, um, we share our understanding. We sympathize with the gentleman, but at the same time, we must have skills, right? We must have enough good skills to know how to work the case out. So, in his case, we actually within 3 months' time, we got all years worked out, and he not only didn't end up paying any taxes, and for quite a few of those years, IRS need to pay him back. Actually, if we did it much earlier, he would get more back, but some of them expired. Like you couldn't get money back anymore. You can only reduce your tax liability.
Yeah, those are great things that I would like to discuss later. But from what you said in his scenario, what if they just feel like, oh, what if I just don't file my taxes? Like, what if it's too late? What are some of the reasons that somebody should file their taxes? And can they just start with the current year? Do they have to go back to the past?
That's such a great question. Actually, I do come across those questions a lot. And because that the IRS actually do substitute return for people. So if you don't file your taxes, but you have income in their record, they saw that you have income, they do substitute return. And we even have taxpayer goes, oh yes, they did a tax return for me, and it pays less than what I actually otherwise would do. So I just let them do substitute return. substitute return doesn't equals to return because there's two limitations within IRS. I want everybody to know. Number one is going back to file to get your refund back. There is a 3 year limitation. So right now we are in 2024, right? We're filing 2023. So if you do amendment for 2022, 2021, 2020, you can still get the refund back. If the IRS owe you money, you get your check back. But if you pass April 15th of this year, you can no longer touch 2020. So this is number one. The refund has a limited years, and tax payment also have limited years. So let's say you owe a couple $1 million to IRS and you're absolutely broke and you don't have money to pay and you live for 10 years, IRS will drop that tax due. IRS don't hold on to your tax due forever. 10 years time, they couldn't collect. They forgive you. So you see, these timelines doesn't happen with substitute return. You have to file your own return. You got to file it, nail the coffin, then the 3 years starts, nail the coffin, then the 10 years start. It's by the filing date, not by the due date of the tax return which you didn't file, and also not by the substitute tax return due date, the time. Does that make sense, Catherine?
Yeah, it does. So when a client is coming to you and they might have paperwork everywhere, they might not know where they have kept some of their income of the past, and so they might be a little messy. And so when they're coming to you, what are some of your steps and recommendations regarding getting those things in order so that they can file properly?
One of the skills we at the Community CPA, we require our folks to have is the ability to turn a bag full of receipt into a artwork. When I say artwork, it means it's labeled, it's summarized, it is neatly clipped together. So those are just basic life skills, right? You walk into someone's home is organized, and you walk into another person's home, it might be messy. So those are life skills that we cultivate that inside our firm. So we're not worried about you coming in disorganized. If you're so organized, you won't have problems that you have today. You're disorganized in this. You might be a superstar on something else you do. So we totally respect that. We don't require everybody to have that kind of life skills. But here, people in our firm, we do. So when you have things messed up, don't even spend an ounce of your energy trying to sort it out, look better for us. You don't need to do that. We like to see the real stuff, the ugly stuff, and whatever it is original. And that is what we want to see. And we can do that for you. And what you need to know is these kind of messy is only to you. It is not to us. And because we know what you do in this bag. We have a client and actually emailed me. This is just happened not too long ago. And he emailed me, goes, hey, I have 15 properties. I just need to file one tax return. Really simple, straightforward. My things are very simple. Great. And just send me the properties. And so we'll go from there. So he's sending the property. And I realized that some of the properties has rent only, I gave him a sheet to organize. So he put in the income, he put in the expenses. I noticed that some of the income start from January, but the property was bought, half year in the year. How could you have income and when you just got your property half a year, right? So those are the things we go back to client. Client goes, oh, you know what? I actually have more than 14 properties. I just, I got them mixed up. I actually have 24 properties. Okay, so you start with the 24. So what messy for you? And it is really a norm for us because we have seen a lot. And we don't want you to be burdened with that thought. Oh, I'm messy. I cannot come in. Catherine, we should just encourage our client that just be who you are. That's why we are here. If everybody is so organized, why do we need a community CPA? It's just like, let's not even have this business anymore, right? So we're okay with messy, and we can organize that because we know logic. When we see your bank of receipts and we first identify what kind of receipt, maybe you have your own logic because you put in the inventory kind of receipt in the white bag, and you put in personal kind of receipt in the pink bag. You probably don't even think to tell us, but we look at that, we can figure out what you're trying to do. And we always have a way to organize it. And I will tell you that is not a problem. That's only your excuse. It's not our excuse to not work your file.
I think that is very reassuring, Ying. So yes, absolutely. Any clients can come to us and we can help them no matter what stage they're at, right? So speaking of that, then if they have a business and they might have a POS system, but maybe you ask them for a balance sheet or financial statements and they're like, I don't know what that is. So when you come across those type of situations, does a business have to have accounting in place for us to help them, or how do they work with us if they still don't have some of these pieces together?
Normally, if you want to apply certain tax treatment, for example, if you want to establish allowance for account receivables, you want to establish inventory write-off, you want to establish liabilities on earned revenues, and then you want to calculate capital gains over equity distribution, anything like in that regard, and it requires a balance sheet. Without a balance sheet, you can't do all of these items that when we work on the tax, we need to look at. But say your business is straightforward. There's no need for all these balance sheet entries, and you just receive money and you spend money, and here's my business. Then you just have an income statement, which we also call it profit and loss, right? Profit and loss is common sense. And elementary school student, including all of us, knows how to do profit and loss. So as a business owner, if you just have a profit and loss and you also have a POI system, but you say to me that, Ying, that POS system is so complicated. I know I'm not using it right. I don't know you want to see it or not. I can give that to you, but don't hold me to it because I don't know what I did with it. And then in that case, what we do is we actually will get a POI system copy from you, but we verify that with what you have on your income statement, or we verify that with your bank statement, just to get a sense of they are relatively similar. If it is they're drastically different, and what we actually recommend our client is that number one, if you don't use your POI system the way it should be used, and it really this need to be really clearly stated with your service provider. So your tax preparer and your accountant, your CPA, your lawyers, and or the IRS person who come to audit you, all of these people, you need to tell them that that machine is really just to make us look sophisticated, but we don't know how to use it. That is totally not, it is not guilt. You're not being charged guilty for doing that. It's just that there's need to be more education for you being a good business people, right? So our recommendation always to our client is that if you don't use it properly, you don't use it. If you use it and you learn, if you don't know how to operate it, we can come in to teach you how to do your POS system properly. There are times we actually catch the POS system setup was totally wrong. Like the sales tax per rate was set up wrong. The item was set up wrong. So those things, when we look at your POS system report, we can catch. So really, just be aware. It is not a criminal matter for you to not use your POS system properly, but it is an educational matter for you to learn more and to do it right. The best practice is If you don't use it properly, you don't use it because you leave the outsider the impression that you use it, but you're not using it, right? So it's just an advice. There's no must or whatever. But if you come to us with the POS system report doesn't really work, then we go with your bank statement. We go with what you have on your bank, and then if that can reconcile to POS, we do. If it is not, we tell you that to start doing it right from now on. So those are the things we would say that we would come out as a recommendation to our client.
Excellent. So then in terms of the accounting, when you're saying reconciliation with the bank account, are you talking about explain a bit more about what Community CPA can do in terms of the financial statement services
Yeah,
for our client?
right. So for every business, this is actually a requirement. If you have a company, you should have financial statement. Financial statement includes three reports: income statement, balance sheet, cash flow statement. And for tax filing purposes, normally the one we use is the income statement and the balance sheet. The cash flow statement is very useful for when you look for loans. The bankers would calculate that to see how much you can borrow. But for taxes, when we do financial statement, let's say if you're our client and you go, oh, Ying, I'm just going to give you everything and you do everything for me, then you are a business. What we would ask you from you would be your bank statement every month. So we want to get all of your operating bank statement, your operation, your bank for your transaction, your bank for payroll, and your savings, your whatever that you have related under your business EIN number. We want those financial institution statement monthly. When we look at these monthly, we actually do three things to the bank statement. Number one, we detailize the statement transaction as it is. So that's basic, right? So if you pay to Walmart, we book for Walmart. You pay to Target, we book for Target. So that's a basic mirror image of what you have done, and that goes into the accounting system. Whether we use QuickBooks, we use Accounting CS, we use Sage, and whatever system we use or you use, that goes in there. So that's number one. And you mirror image what you happen. Number two, we reconcile the bank deposit to your deposit in record. So if you use your POS system, you can imagine that the bank deposit should match up to your POS system, right? So that is one reconciliation. So that's number two. Number three, on the number two, I want to add, why is that important to reconcile income? Who cares? Whatever I have in the bank, it should be okay. No, you do care because some business has income that is taxable. I mean, sales tax taxable, but they also have income that is not sales tax taxable. So from the bank, we only see money come in, but from POS system or your internal record, we can see which one we should charge remit sales tax, which part we shouldn't remit sales tax, right? So those are the things like we will be reconciling. So that's number two. Number three, we reconcile your draws, and you got money goes out, and you really trust your bank never make mistake on the draws. You really do? I do not, because we can see a lot of mistakes. Of course, our job is looking for mistakes, so maybe that's what we see. But we reconcile for you. So, for example, we have one good example. Our client's bank account actually went away for $120,000. $120,000 went away to this company that we never seen before. So, sure, and we look at our client's record, there is no record indicating that our client sent this money overseas. So it doesn't even make any sense. So we do the reconciliation. So we pick up the phone to the business owner saying that, hey, we have this transaction. What is it? Why the money goes away? And luckily, the business owner already knew he lost $120,000. So by the time when we call, he actually just reported fraud on that account like a day before. So you see how quickly we actually realized that. So he was very impressed that we already noticed that. But at the same time, he knows his bank, balance dropped by a lot. So he actually noticed. So he was started tracing the money already. So those are the three things when we do bank reconciliation. When we say bank reconciliation, such a benign words, right? Someone invented better words for this one. It's just like weird. What do they call that? Bank reconciliation. It's actually, I would call it bank analysis, right? You do analysis on the bank, and that's what you do every month to make sure your book agrees with the bank, outside agrees with the inside, and the income and properly classified, expense identified, and then month after month, you're gonna have a good-looking financial statement.
Yes, absolutely. So shifting a little bit, I wanted to talk about penalties for the overdue taxes. So I think a lot of the reasons why somebody might be afraid of trying to get caught up with their taxes is they're worried about all these penalties, potentially triggering an audit maybe. So how do you talk to your client through those type of concerns?
So if you have penalties from the government, I will share you a secret. The IRS is the very best place to waive your penalty. IRS is very eager to waive your penalty. And from get-go, if let's say you have a new company you worked on, you never filed taxes for 5 years, that first year penalty is automatically waived because for the first time you make a mistake, didn't file, and there is a casual waiver at IRS they will give you, right? But of course you got 4 other years you didn't pay, there is penalty. But if you just identified that to be, I broke my leg and just never really come out of the home for 4 years. And if you have a reasonable cause and your CPA, people like us would write up a reason for you and we will do a thesis for you. And based on the code sections and IRS references, then we'll give to the IRS officer to say, hey, can you waive all these penalties? Most likely, penalty can be waived with a reasonable cause, but not interest. If you owe IRS money since 2014, they charge you interest. I think that's what they should charge you. Even if you loan me money since 2014, you would ask for interest too, right? So those are reasonable, but penalty depends. If you're just a bad kid, need to be punished, and I think it's good to charge you penalty, right? So you don't do that again. But trust me, our government, I'm not saying this because politically correct. No, I have my 20, 30 years working experience to demonstrate to you that the government and the government officials, they have a rule and a regulation to prevent wrongdoing. And they also have rule and regulation to give taxpayer a new opportunity. So you want to take advantage of that. And I would not worry about penalty is not a reason for you to not come forward. Penalty is your excuse for you to not come forward.
Okay, Ying, I think that is great. Any last final thoughts regarding late filings, what a client can do if they want to reach out to us? Yeah, I think we're at time.
I think I would just wake up to the fact that tax doesn't go away. Your life not going to end very soon, so you always have to deal with your taxes. Substitute tax return is not the same as tax return. File your tax return. File it and make a determination of getting it caught up. Life will be so light-weighted, and you will see the result is not as bad as what you are imagining out there on your own. Talk to someone. You talk to Community CPA, we're not going to pick up the phone and tell IRS that, hey, you have a guy didn't file for 20 years and we caught them. And we help you. We are on the same side with you to help you be in compliance with IRS. And I don't get medals from IRS. They should give me a lot, but but at least I help you. Even though I don't get medals from IRS, I get some encouragement. I get your you know your praise for the good work we did. So I hope that you turn around, kill all of your excuses because they're not real, and just catch up and make a year that you come out of the dark tunnel and you're facing the future with a lightweight.
Thank you so much, Ying. So everybody, I think you know to reach us at Catherine@communitycpa.com. You can also find us on our website, www.communitycpa.com. And as Ying said, you can feel free to book an appointment with any of our partners, and they are willing to help you. And if you are brand new and don't know if you want to work with us yet, please do book a discovery call, and those are free half-hour calls to get to know us a little bit better and start the conversation. All right, everybody, thank you, and we will see you on Saturday. Take care.
Bye.